Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's YouTube video. Welcome if this is your first time tuning in. My name is Stephanie, and each week I bring you 3 Akashic keywords, as well as some oracle card and crystal guidance to get a jumpstart on the energy of the coming week. So this week we are looking at November 27th through December 3rd. It was hard for me to even say that. Even knowing that time seems to be moving very quickly, I didn't realize until I looked at my calendar to do this week's forecast that we were segueing into December already. So moving into the first week of December, yay. This week, the guidance I got was to kind of keep it very simple. Some of us may have had a hectic week last week. We had a new moon. We had a holiday in the United States for some people. Maybe being around more family and friends than we normally would be, or just more preparation, kind of an interruption to our regularly scheduled week. So keeping it very simple this week, I will be using the Healing Crystals deck number 3. Oh, someone will point that out, so I will mention it now that we match already. That has a tendency to happen. So crystal deck number 3. And Radley Valentine's newest deck, the Archangel Michael Sword of Light deck. So those are the decks we will be using, just using the Archangel Michael Sword of Light deck for the entire week this week in that energy of keeping it simple. So let's talk about our 3 Akashic keywords first. And these are, if you're new here, these are just 3 keywords that I channel while I am working, doing personal readings or other work in the Akashic records each week to ask, hey, what's coming up for the coming week? How can we best be tuned into the energy to give us the best chance of navigating our way through it with ease and grace? So this week, the keywords that came out were reception, guidance, and gratitude. Much different, I feel, than the ones we've had over the past few weeks or even months. So reception, when I asked for clarification about that, was receptivity, just really being in that sort of softer receptive mode, not sort of in that defensive stance where we're like taking information, but then kind of blocking it until we can process it and then answer. This is more about receptivity, sort of letting our guard down or letting our egoic self take a backseat for this week, to let that softer, more heart-centered energy come forward so that we're in the energy of receptivity. Doesn't mean we can't use discernment, right? It doesn't mean we are just going to be like, well, whatever. But it's about leading with the heart first rather than the ego first. So not having that wall up, not having that distance or that defense mechanism in place, still having discernment, still using our intuition to know what is best for us, still knowing we have divine guidance, but using that, putting our heart forward first to filter, for that to be our filtration system this week so that we're in receptive mode. Because when we are not in defense mode, we are much more able to receive the things that we have lined up with energetically. So if you've been working on things, wanting to manifest things, wanting to call things in, working on projects, whether it's relationships, finances, career, business, any sort of creative project, anything in your life that you're working on, is going to come in much more easily when you're heart-centered and you're in receptive mode, rather than when you're trying to filter the things that are coming in yourself. So if you have that defense mechanism or that wall in place, or that, really strong ego in place, then you may not be receiving everything that is best for you because you're filtering it before it comes in. So letting the heart center be your filter this week, excuse me, will put you in receptivity. And that's our first keyword for this week. So I have to pause here and say apologies in advance. I have really obnoxious cats. There is one right here, just out of camera range. So there she goes. Okay, we should be okay now. I was afraid she was going to go that way. So reception being our first keyword this week. I really like this one. I really think it's super, super important for this week. Just kind of, letting our guard down. Again, still using your intuition and your discernment, but not sort of putting your human emotions into the mix and just saying, okay, I know these things are coming into my experience through divine guidance based on what I have asked for. So I'm going to allow that sort of heart-centered receptivity to take place because I know it's bringing in what is best for me. The second keyword is guidance, and that's just being in tune with that divine guidance, with that intuitive guidance, with the guidance from our higher self. Again, having the ego kind of take a back seat. The ego is not bad. It's necessary when we're in human form. It protects us, but saying, okay, thank you. But just letting it take a back seat this week to be in reception mode, to be able to receive that divine guidance more clearly. And then gratitude. And gratitude is giving thanks for what we have right now, whether we feel like something bigger, better, or more should have. That's a key phrase there. Should have manifested for us already. Maybe there's a higher perspective, a bigger vision that we are not privy to right now. We just can't quite see it. So being in gratitude for what is right now. I am here right now and finding things to be thankful for. And I've said this in the past, if you tune into the channel regularly, if 10 things go wrong in your day and one thing goes right, then beat the drum of the one thing that went right and just let those other things kind of fade away. So that's the message I'm getting around gratitude is find what you can be in gratitude for. Don't wish or should your way into a negative space, but find what you can be in gratitude for. That gets you to the next one up, which is receiving that divine guidance from your higher self, divine wisdom, which puts you in the receptive mode. So it's kind of like a ladder, the way I'm being shown this week. You are in gratitude for anything you can find to be in gratitude for. That gets you to where you are in a place of being receptive to that divine guidance. So that is our Akashic energy for this week. Let's talk about our crystal energy. And this week, I did draw all the cards ahead of time. I have not looked at them yet, as usual. We have brecciated jasper. I love brecciated jasper. I usually like the crystals that resonate with the higher chakras, like the third eye, the crown chakra, but I love brecciated jasper, and it connects the root chakra, which is stability and really feeling centered and grounded in our own physical bodies and in our energetic bodies, with the sacral chakra, which is creativity and creation and action and being in receptive mode, right? But being secure in that receptive mode because we are grounded in the root chakra. So its three keywords are strength, balance, and vitality. Strength, balance, vitality. And the mantra or affirmation you can work with if you want to work with the energy of brecciated jasper this week is, I am nurtured and strengthened by the energy of the universe. I am nurtured and strengthened by the energy of the universe. So that, again, being sort of in the energy of gratitude and knowing that we don't have to do it all. We just have to take a step back and be in reception mode. So that is our crystal energy for this week. And then let's start with the oracle cards. And again, I'm going to use this deck for the entire week. So Sunday. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Sunday, we have the number 27 card. It is regain your focus. So this is kind of like a rebalancing, right? After, if you felt like you had an energetically sort of hectic week, this is sort of a rebalancing on Sunday, moving into the new week. Regain your focus as trivial life matters are distracting you from your goals. And the message I get when I read that, trivial life matters are distracting you from your goals, it's kind of like that defense mechanism that I mentioned, where we're asking the ego to maybe take a backseat when we're using our heart as our filter this week. Trivial, and everything's trivial when, like if it's an egoic issue, it's trivial from a soul perspective, right? Trivial matters are distracting you from your goals. Archangel Metatron and I are here to help you stay grounded. So this is an Archangel Michael deck. Keep that in mind when it says "and I." Trivial life matters are distracting you from your goals. Archangel Metatron and Archangel Michael are here to help you stay grounded. So that, again, about sort of moving into the heart space, the space of receptivity, and saying, okay, I trust what's coming in. Monday, we have the number 32 card, and it is the way forward is open. And it says, you're not trapped. Possibilities and opportunities abound. I will guide you to personal and spiritual freedom. So here on Sunday, we have trivial life matters are distracting us, which can make us feel sort of falsely trapped, right? Like we don't have the big options that we think we, again, should have or should be available to us, when really from the perspective of the universe, everything is available to us all the time. It's just kind of sometimes we put that guard up, and instead of using discernment, we use defense. So this is about, again, letting the defense down and knowing that we will be guided correctly. And this says the way forward is open. And I love the graphic on this being a map and saying you are here, and up here is joy. So it's always joy is up on the ladder of emotion. So this week, kind of working our way up the rungs into that space of joy, because when you get to joy, it's one of the easiest places to manifest from. Well, how do you get to joy? You show gratitude for what you already have, which is what we talked about with the Akashic Keywords. So it says, you're not trapped. Possibilities and opportunities abound. I will guide you to personal and spiritual freedom. So again, the message of kind of letting that ego take a backseat and knowing that there is much better guidance available to all of us. Then Tuesday, we have the number 25 card, and it's put your creative energy into action. And I did feel when we got the Brecciated Jasper that there was some creative energy coming in. If you look at the color wrapped around the horn and the sword here, it's very much the energy of that sacral chakra, that action, creation, creativity. So it says, and again, this is Tuesday, put your creative energy into action. Archangel Gabriel joins me to spark your creativity, help you communicate your vision, and motivate you to create something beautiful. So very much about being in the energy of movement forward, creation, creativity. And that looks different for everybody. So I've had a lot of people say, but I don't do anything creative. I'm not creative. If you do anything, you're creating. So, when people think of manifestation as this sort of thing you have to say or write or do everything absolutely correct, or it won't manifest for you. And that's not true. We're manifesting every moment of every day. That's how we create our lives. That's if you take a step forward, or if you do anything, any movement at all, your breath, you are creating. So it's not about, doing things exactly right. It's about just taking the steps forward, and it will unfold from there. So if you're creating, you can't do it wrong. Don't worry that you didn't phrase the manifestation that you put in your manifestation box exactly right. The universe doesn't care. Your higher self doesn't care. The divine doesn't care. It's the emotion and the feeling behind it and what you want, and the fact that you're taking action steps toward it that really matter. So Wednesday, this is interesting on the heels of this. It's you're ready for more. It says your career is growing and blossoming. Now is the time to make the changes you have been contemplating. So career message for some of you, as always, this is a collective reading and it will mean different things to different people. Your career is growing and blossoming, but also if it's not career oriented for you, it could be relationships you've been working on. It could be creative projects with all the other creative energy we've had come out so far this week. It could be something you do as a hobby, not necessarily as a paid career. Now is the time to make the changes you have been contemplating. So that's sort of how things bloom or blossom or unfold. And then Thursday, we have increase your knowledge. Education brings opportunities is what this one says. Take a course, pick up a book, or find a mentor to teach you what your soul longs to know. So for many people, this has something to do with what you want to work on, but you feel like a little unqualified. You either feel a little unqualified or like you haven't finished all of the sort of training, or it could be workshops, anything necessary to really put yourself out there. So the guidance says you're ready but there may be something you want to do that makes you feel more comfortable. So if there is a reason that you feel like you're not sort of stepping into that spotlight or really going for, I guess, what it is you want to do, it may be that you would feel more comfortable if you have some additional certifications or schooling, or even just guidance from an expert. So increasing your knowledge coming up, as like after we get this moving, you may find that you feel like you need to at least consult an expert to keep that ball rolling. This isn't like a setback or a standstill or any energy like that. This is like, okay, my next step forward is to consult or do this next thing that has to do with education or additional knowledge. And then Friday, stay the course. Okay, so this is funny. As soon as I read this, on the heels of this about knowledge, stay the course, which is not on the card about a course, right? But it's that jumps out at me, stay the course, as far as like coursework being connected to the card before about increase your knowledge. So this one says, don't panic. You're not on the wrong path. You're just having a bumpy start. Learn from your experiences and keep going. So again, the message of this isn't a setback or a standstill, but there may be something you need to assimilate, learn, or even, could be as simple as a meeting with an expert about something to do with your business or your hobby, or even as it could be like therapy, counseling, things like that, if it has to do with the relationships in your life, like seeking expert guidance. And staying the course, like keeping moving with it. Because I keep getting the message, it's not a setback or a standstill. This is part of the movement forward. Okay, and then interestingly, on Saturday, the last day of this week, 2 cards popped out. So I will tell you about them both. So the first one that I saw was make a decision. And this has sort of the scales of balance. And I think it's interesting that I spoke so much at the beginning about leading with your heart, because one of this, to me, the heart is sort of leading with your heart, having that open so that you can discern what is best for you this week and not be in defense mode, where the feather is sort of signs, symbols, synchronicities, intuitive guidance, higher guidance, divine guidance, angelic guidance coming through this week. So using a balance of being open and using intuitive discernment this week. It says, are you choosing to prioritize yourself or another in this situation? Accept divine guidance pointing you toward your own joy. You deserve it. So whatever you come up with, whatever feels right with you this week that you want to work on, or the action steps you want to take, knowing that it's extremely important for you to take those steps, to put yourself first, to find a way to do it, even if you have to be creative, so that it fits into your life, because this is extremely important to find this balance for you to move forward. And then the other one that popped out, the sort of bonus energy. And you know what? I feel like we're going to call this our bonus energy for December, since we're segueing into the month of December and this extra card came out on Saturday. It's trust your angels. So I'm calling this the general energy for December. Let go of your expectations of how your dreams will come true. Trust that heaven has a perfect plan. So this connects right back to everything I said in the beginning when I was talking about the 3 Akashic keywords and being in reception mode, receptivity mode. I'm going to call this December's energy. And so we're going to, for the month of December, be in receptive mode, reception mode, and trust our angels, trust all of the intuitive guidance, our higher self, the divine, whatever you work with, as far as allowing things to flow through your heart and your intuition, trusting that, putting that as your first filter, and then using your own discernment to decide how you want to move forward. So that is our energy for December and for the last week of November. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I will see you next week.